Okay, we're back. This is just like polynomials. The only thing we have to remember, length times width in a rectangle, okay? The only thing we got to remember is L is the longer side.
Can you make it up? Like, can you make it capital L? Because it looks like uncomfortable.
I usually write a cursive L when I'm doing L. That.
Oh, okay, that's good.
L is the longer side. That's what you got to know. Okay? Now, all of you are going to stop listening right now because, okay, we got it. Because when you look on your formula sheet, you will see that you have been given area equals LW. And you will immediately stop paying attention because you feel you have the formula and you're good to go. That would be silly, but you will do it anyway. So this is 2 times 5 to equal an area of 10. 10 what? I don't say that it's centimeters. Let's make it centimeters. 10 centimeters squared. Why is it squared? Because there are 2 dimensions. What are those dimensions? Length and width. Okay? Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right. Now, you guys are smart kids, yeah? Of course you are. I'm going to do something here. You don't have to write this down. I just want to show you something. Here is some graph paper, yeah? Just watch. How big a rectangle did I just make?
4 by 3.
4 by 3. 4 by 3. Which means it has an area of what? 12. We're going to call it centimeters squared. Cool?
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't draw it, you would know this was LW. L times W. Got it? Everybody cool? Okay. Now, what area did I draw? It's not a rhombus, it's a parallelogram. What's its area?
Length times width.
Because you learned the formula, right? Base times height. Because it's still a rectangle, isn't it? Here's what I mean. If I cut this off, and I'll use red, what do I have in there? 3 by 3, which is 9, yeah? And then, what do I have there? 1 by 3, which is 3. 9 plus 3 is what? 12. So it's the same area. Got it? Except we can't say length and width, can we? Because if we say here, the width was just going up this side, right? Here, this side is a right angle triangle, isn't it? So it's not 3 anymore, is it? It would be the square root of 3, which is 9 squared, and 1. It would be the square root of 10, which is not 3, is it? So you cannot do length times width. Math guys,
We're experimenting.
you were doing so well.
I'm sorry.
Riley, up there. Your turn to move.
I'll go over there. It was my fault.
Okay,
I'm making nice.
great, get going.
I'll take the L, don't worry.
Cool?
Yep.
Math guys recognize this, and they what? No. Why would I give you the comfy chair when you're being punished? Of course. Math guys could not call it length times width because it is not the width, is it? So math guys changed it to be base and height. which becomes very confusing for you guys. Because what if I change this diagram to this? Of course it's the same thing, but where's the base? Well, the base would be the bottom, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So the way that's drawn, wouldn't you call that the bottom?
Yeah.
So if you were memorizing formulas, this becomes very difficult, doesn't it? You have to understand what is going on. This is still the base because the shape can turn. Do you all understand?
Yep.
Excellent. So that covers parallelograms, which I wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable with. Yeah? Okay. The next one we have to talk about is this. What's that guy's area? Don't tell me the area. Tell me how you found it. This is math class. LW, and then you rewrite it as 6 times 3, and you get what? 18. Cool? Everyone with me? All right, now you guys are smart kids. What did I just do? Cut it in half. And that makes what shape? A triangle. Now, if the blue thing was 18, what is the area of the red triangle? Don't tell me the formula, Arshdeep. I know you know the formula. I can train a monkey to know the formula given enough bananas. What, using your brain, must that area be? 9. Because that is not how math worked. The guys that invented this crap didn't have the formulas. They did experiments. So they said, oh, I got a rectangle. Well, I understand that a rectangle is 2 times 3, except they were speaking in Greek or Egyptian or Babylonian or whoever was inventing it at the time. I get that. Well, okay, but I look out in nature, there's other shapes. How do they work? And this is what they did. They built the formulas from experimentation. Okay? So that gets us 9. And these guys said, hey, wait a minute. That's just half a rectangle. Right? So of a rectangle, the area of a triangle must then be the area of a rectangle, LW, divided by 2. Right? Now you guys are smart kids. Come back to this. When I lean that rectangle over, could we do LW? No. So when we lean the rectangle over, what did LW become? Base times height. So when I lean that rectangle over, I get half a parallelogram, don't I? Which is base 4 times height 3 would be the whole thing, but it's a triangle, so I got to cut it in half, so I get base times height divided by 2. That's why triangles work. Everybody good? Yeah? Okay, now here's what messes you guys up. Oops, I want that to be right on the line. What's the base? We're doing this one right here. I'll put a happy face in it. What's the base? 3?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the height? 2. See? Already you're screwed up. Because you guys are so locked into formulas, you needed one of these to be the base, didn't you? All I did was turn it around. You guys are so bad at that.
How is the height 2 just counts?
I started at the bottom and I went straight up.
So you just do base times height and that equals the area?
Base times height, 5 times 2 is 10, but it's a triangle, so I got to divide by 2. Because of course, Craig, the other side of this would be,
Square. Or the other half.
which would be the other side of the rectangle, right? Other side of the parallelogram,
Yeah.
which would be base and height. Got it?
Yeah.
For some reason, nobody bothers telling you guys why this works. And then they get mad at you when you don't figure out that it's just turned. Unfortunately for you, I have shown you why it works. So when you don't figure out that it's turned, I am going to get mad at you, and I'm going to be allowed to get mad at you because I have shown you why it works. Right? Awesome possums. So we're cool with triangles, yeah? Everybody good? Okay. That's the only area we're going to talk about now. Next, we're going to move on to perimeter. Perimeter is what? Right. The measure of the edge. Right? So how many edges does this thing have?
4.
4. How many numbers do we know? Really?
4.
Yeah.
4.
4. Because if this is 5, what's this? 5. And what's this?
2. You see 2.
Do you know the perimeter now?
Yeah.
What is it?
5 plus 5.
5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2, correct?
14.
Math guys are lazy. Would they write 5 plus 5?
No.
No, what would they write? Squared?
5, 2. 5 exponent 2. No, that's 25.
5 exponent 2 is
There are 2 5s there, so it's 2 times 5, right?
Oh.
So 2 times 5
Oh.
plus, would they write 2 plus 2?
No.
2 times 2 to get 14, yeah? Now, using the experimental method of math, which is the way they figured out every formula, 5 is the L, isn't it? So it's 2L plus 2 what? W equals perimeter. Now, will I make you memorize these formulas? You should have to, because I had to and Miss Desiree had to, and that's why we can actually do math. You guys will get the formula sheet. Because somebody decided that memory of a fact is not using the fact. So you do not need to test them on whether they can remember something. That means you are testing memory, not the ability to do math.
That's smart.
No, it's not. It's idiotic. But I'm not in charge.
That's
Whoever changed the rules and said I had to give you your formulas instead of making you learn them. Which is funny because when I was your guys' age, everybody could do this in their sleep because we memorized the formulas. But as soon as we started giving formulas, this became one of the hardest things in math. Then everyone's like, I can't do it.
people get dumber. So
No, people don't get dumber. We make your lives easier. And then you think it's going to be easier, you take it for granted. It's a difference. All right, we all good with perimeter? We all good with area?
Yep.
Okay. You will notice I've only covered shapes with straight edges, yeah? Right? And I've only covered 2 very basic shapes, yeah? Every other shape is made of these shapes. Understand? So if I gave you this, and I asked you to find the area, could you do it? Of course you could, because all an octagon is what?
Triangle.
8 triangles. So if you know the triangle, do you know the octagon's area? What if it was a hexagon? Same thing, it'd just be 6 triangles, right? So easy peasy lemon squeezy, yeah? All right. Next thing I got to talk about is what if it's 2 shapes together? Five, 2, and what does that symbol mean?
It's the same.
It's the same. So what is this guy's area?
5.
LW, which is
10.
10. What is this guy's area?
10.
Base times height divided by 2. What's the base? 5. What's the height? 2,
5.
which is 5. So what's the area of the whole thing? 15. Everybody can do that too, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last thing we need to be aware of with straight changes is this type of problem. This is 7. This is 2. This is 1. And this is 8. Tell me the perimeter. What's the perimeter? Don't give me the number. Tell me what perimeter is. It's around the outside. So I need every edge, don't I? Do I have this edge?
Yeah.
So what's this side? If this is 2, what's left?
1.
No, the 1 is right here. This is 1. So this has to be 5, doesn't it? Why?
Because the 2 plus 5 is
2 plus 5 to get to 7, yeah? If this is 1, what does this have to be? Why? Because the whole thing is 8. Now, can I do the perimeter? Yes. Now what if I ask you the area? What would you do to solve that area? Bryn says she would cut it in half. And she would have 7 by 7. And what would she have down here? 2 by 1, which would be 2. So the area would be 51, wouldn't it? Everyone agree? Watch this. I don't like doing it that way. I do this. Changing to black. What's the whole black area? 7 by 8, which would be 56. And then this disappears, yeah? Right? Well, what's 5 by 1?
6. 5 by
5. And since that has disappeared, what math do I do there?
Shut up.
It's disappeared, Craig.
Oh, sorry.
Subtract. 56 minus 5 is 51. Same answer. I don't care which way you do it. Picking up what I'm putting down? All right. Now, since this is summer school, the last thing we're going to do is circles. Now, listen to me. If this was not summer school, we would do a whole big experiment into what pi is.
Take my 1 point.
No, 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 no,
The pi is the...
no. That is not what pi is. No, it isn't.
What is it?
I'm about to tell you.
Dessert.
Pi is the number you get when you take the circumference of a circle, and you divide it by the diameter. Okay? We, as math teachers, have allowed you guys to use the approximation of 3.14. You will never, ever use that again. You are now in real math. We do not use pi as anything but pi, which is a decimal that never, ever, ever ends.
Irrational.
It is an irrational number. Okay? Now, it would take me a period to explain exactly why the area of a circle equals pi r squared. I'm not going to do it, but I am going to explain to you what r is. R is the diameter divided by 2, and it stands for radius, which you already know. We're going to use that a lot in the next unit, so make sure you're comfortable with it in case you've forgotten. All right? Now, what it really means is this. I'm going to take a quick second to show you. Don't bother writing this down. This is hard to do on this. Everybody cool with that?
It's like a circle to me.
It's pretty much a circle. I've tried to get it as close as possible, but I can't really, right? Okay. This is the R, yeah? Right? And this is the R, yeah?
Yeah.
And this makes a square, yeah? So if this is R and this is R, what's this area? R times R, yeah? Which is R squared, agreed? Everybody cool? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, yeah? Except it's not the whole thing, is it? Because it's cut off there. You with me? So pi was originally developed by taking a square, cutting a circle out of it, and approximating what was removed. And they found out that it was basically, this was Egyptians that did it, they got 3.16. So there were 3.16, a fraction. Instead of there being 4 of these little squares, it was 3.16. Which is pretty darn close, yeah? That was the Egyptians that did that. Greeks later on worked out pi. But they worked it out because instead of PlayStation and Call of Duty 12, they were actually doing useful stuff.
What Call of Duty are they on now?
Who cares? That's the point of the joke. Call of Duty 12. It doesn't exist. All right? This is how it started. Again, we could do a whole period on it. I'm going to stop right there. Suffice to say that we use, up until now, 3.14. But what you guys are going to use is this. On every one of your calculators, you will see you have either a pi button or a pi written on your calculator that is above another button. To use those buttons, you either hit the pi button or you hit second or shift and that button.
For what?
What button?
Wherever your button is. You gotta find it. So we're all gonna take a moment to find it right
I
now.
don't got one.
You do. Every one of your calculators has it. So, here is what we would do. I am going to tell you here that your D equals 10. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. What is the r if my D equals 10? 5. So the area of a circle is pi times 5 squared, yes? What is 5 squared? 25. So the area of this circle is 25 pi. Is everybody cool with that?
Whoa.
After grade 9, this is the answer that we are looking for. Okay? You would leave it like that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because pi is just a number, isn't it? Right? It's 3.14159, whatever. But pi is just a number. And the area of this circle is 25 of those numbers. Will you ever get an exact area of the circle? No. Of course not. You can only get close. Which is why, from here on, we're going to leave it like that. But in grade 9, we're going to want a number for it. So to find that number, at the end of the question, you will then go to your calculator and find what 25 pi is. And to do that, you will go 25 pi, and most of you will have to hit equals. You may have to do 25 times pi, and then do an answer.
That's 78.
And it is 78.539, and will that number go on forever?
Yeah.
Yes, so we would round it to 2 decimal places. So this would be 78.54. Got it?
Got it.
This is what I want you to do, and then it depends on the question. If it's multiple choice and you don't see these choices, you see numbers, then you're going to have to do 25 times pi to get the number. Got it? We're going to come back to that in a moment. Okay? I'm going to show you what I want you to do with that. Is everybody cool?
Yeah.
Okay? The last thing you need to remember is Pythagoras, but I'm not going over it. Right? I've done it to death this year. You got to know Pythagoras to do this unit. Right? Like this question here, if I wanted the perimeter, how long is this side? 5. This side is 5. Do you know this side? No.
That's the hypotenuse.
This is not part of the perimeter, is it? So I need this side, don't I? So doesn't that make a right angle triangle with 5 and 2? So I would have to use Pythagoras to find this. Then I would add it all together. Got it?
What's the next unit? Triangles?
Triangles and circle geometry, as you can see across the top.
That's what made me feel.
Okay.
Nothing after that?
So you guys are working on this worksheet. It's the first 4 pages in your notes pack. You can see there is triangles, there is rectangles, and there is... I do not want you to do these 2 trapezoids. Do not do the trapezoids. I don't know if they're in your sheet or not.
All these pages?
The first page.
They're not good. And then you do the circles. All these pages, it's length times width. Perry, it's one
I
thing.
just spelled my name wrong.
Oh, you did 5 times 4?
For area,
I spelled
Got it.
go. I want these pages done. Obviously not by this period, because this period's over in 10 minutes.
9.
But you're going to do some of it. We may not get to the surface area 3D figure set. I'm okay with that.
Try to 6 upside down and
Or what will most likely happen is we will get to the 3D figures, but you'll have no work time. I'll send you away with that.
The next unit is what made me feel doing I struggle with it very much.
Well, hopefully you won't when I run you through it.
geometry. I didn't even understand like the 180 degree stuff.
It's so complicated.
I like word problems. That was the only test I got in A on that.
That's A&W. That's what A&W math is.
The essentials class for math. Where Starbucks for a class. And they had a pool party.
So I'm going to take that assignment. 3D pieces too.
They had a barbecue and they went to High Street for a class because they were learning real life situations.
That's it.
And then they went to McDonald's.
That's fun.
What?
We got out from Parkmount across the space.
2 lanes, remember? He's 2 lanes, 2 ways. Add them together. Perimeters, add areas.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, sorry guys. When you get to circles, remember, pi equals circumference divided by diameter, right? Perimeter is the circle's circumference. So if I want the perimeter, the C's got to be by itself, doesn't it? So what math would I do here to get C by itself? You would multiply them both by D to get C alone. So C, circumference, equals pi D. And remember, here is where I want you to do your answers twice. You're going to give me an answer with pi in it, and I want two answers. I want the answer with pi, and then I want the decimal answer rounded to 2 places. Okay? So I feel I should do one of these for you right now just to show you what I mean. What's the radius here? 3. So area equals pi r squared. Pi, what's the radius? 3 squared. What's 3 squared? 9. So 9 pi is 1/2 of the answer. Then you're going to do, on your calculator, you're going to give me that as a decimal, which is 9 times pi. Now wait a second. Estimate first. Pi is close to 3, right?
Yeah.
So 9 times 3, it's got to be close to 27, right? So if you punch into your calculator and you get something that isn't close to 27, have you done your calculating right? No.
It's 28.27.
28.27. I'm going to check and see if that's right, see if Perry is rounded correctly.
Nope.
9 shift pi equals 28.27. He rounded beautifully. Well done, Perry. Yes. Slow clap on your own chest.
And on Riley's.
Okay, and then of course the circumference equals pi d. What's the d? What's the d? Which would be what in this case?
28.
No.
Wait.
6. The diameter, because it's 2 radii,
Got it.
is 6 pi. That's half the answer.
And then find the
Then you do 6 times pi to get your answer. It's got to be close to 18, doesn't it?
Yeah.
19 point whatever. 6 shift pi equals 18.849. So that's 18.85. Everybody understand to do the circle page? Go. There ain't nothing new today. Every single thing on these 4 pages you learned how to do in at least grade 8, if not earlier. What?
What do you think the key to success is in math?
In math?
Yeah.
Don't ever play yourself.
Don't ever play yourself.
No.
Don't ever play yourself.
Multiplication, division.
Carrot bag alert.
They don't want us to have pools bigger than Kanye. Major key alert.
The break is in 3 minutes. And my time appointment is at 2 o'clock.
I got a key.
You know he's not in any of the songs.
Major key.
He's not in any of the songs. He just comes in and says DJ Khaled.
DJ Major key alert.
No, he just says DJ Khaled like 3 times.
In what song?
I got the keys. It's
He doesn't-
Future,
Yo,
Jay-Z, and that's
He just, he produced the song, but he's not.
But there's like so many rappers like in the music video. There's like every
No,
rapper,
he has like every rapper.
but they're just standing there like
They're
this.
not in the music video, like everybody's featured in the song.
Look. We're just standing there.
DJ Khaled tactic.
Major key alert.
Major key alert.
Have you seen his shoe closet?
DJ.
Have you seen his shoe closet?
Yeah,
It's sick.
it has lights.
His lights?
Like under the
I thought you
couch.
said lights. I was like, what?
Yeah, I have lights.
The perimeter. The key. 28 minus 18.
Like he told you, you can either find the area and add them,
Do we have to square it or
The
no?
area of the whole thing. And
If
you-
it's area, it's squared.
Whatever one you look at.
Area square. Always?
Yeah, because there's two dimensions, a length and a width.
But not for perimeter, right?
No, because there's only one dimension. Because a perimeter, Perry, is just a line, isn't it? If I take this line that is 12 long, but I bend it at 3, I lie, and I bend it at 4, 2, 2, and 4, I'll make a rectangle, won't I? That is 4, 4, 2, 2. So really, perimeter is just one straight line that's been bent. So it only has one dimension.
Opens up.
It only has one dimension.
Grow my hair this long? 3 weeks. I'm not even joking. That's how fast my hair grows. I thought they made you feel like it.
Yes.
These shoes
You
suck
want
so
it.
much. What size are you?
Definitely.
11? Yeah, you're a tall kid. Mr. Myers, did you ever have long hair?
In grade 7 and 8, I had bangs down past my eye that were bleached blonde.
Like this long?
Way longer. Past my eye.
That's weird. Were you like goth or something?
No, I was a skater.
Oh, you had like a surfer for like a mom? Like you had some flow in the back? That's lit.
Only the bangs.
Oh. I got the keys. I got the keys. I'm gonna come back on Monday with some sweat. I got the keys. Oh, the skip.
Wasn't that girl?
No. He was like vampire or something. On TV, like, I don't know what she looks like. But it out.
They don't care.
They don't care that they do.
No, she cares. She just doesn't know.
Oh, she thought there was just like.
I put it in a water bottle. You
Hi.
know, you can make smoke with a water
Yeah.
bottle. But yeah.
She's stupid. Mike? I don't know. I will prove myself there. Mike, what up?
6 times 9 is 54.
Pardon? 6 times 9 is 54, of course.
Damn.
Kara.
I hate that name.
What?
Kara.
Why?
Kara.
Because it doesn't sound good.
Takes you
Okay.
Sounds like a Barbie doll that got canceled.
No. Like your image is so real and nice.
Oh yeah, that was like if that was real, that'd be crazy. Have you seen the trailer?
No,
And this chick wakes up
Yeah, like
and she wakes up, she looks through her in this way. There's this like chick, like all that was like that scratching her floor, and then she's so wait, so what happened? So this chick wakes up in her bed, she's like looking up. She looks like in her doorway. She sees this chick like bending over. She's like scratching her floor, and it's like they're like jumping.
Here, wait, what's the lights out?
Yeah, lights out.
I mean, you are, but
It's freaky. Craig, I need food. Oh, I got handcuffs.
11 equals 66. And then 4 times 6 equals 24. So 24 minus 66. I mean 66
It's
minus
not the
24.
first time we're doing it. What?
No, math is perfect because it always makes sense.
See, see, see?
Then why does it matter?
Billy, like, gone.
No, Billy came back for a day and then he's gone. What school are you guys going to? Yale.
Bailey, I mean, Billy,
Billy goes to Michigan that day.
Oh my god.
You brought his whole lights out, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I love it. That movie's gonna be like
Lights out,
pretty trash.
It's supposed to be pretty good. I just read a review of it today.
Like them? No, by trash means me skating.
Wait, did it come out today?
I think so.
I'm gonna go see it tonight. I saw The Conjuring 2 and that was pretty scary.
I want to see
The Lights Out one? Did you see the trailer? Well,
The scariest trailer I've ever seen is Goodnight Mother or whatever it's called. Goodnight Mother, I think. I think it's Goodnight Mother.
Those two kids.
The twins.
He like eats the cockroach.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't seen the movie. I've only seen the trailer.
It only came out in like Europe.
Yeah, I was in Austria, which means it's on the internet somewhere.
Look. Ready? That'd be scary whenever I just keep all the lights on at night. I don't care about my power bill. As long as that thing's not coming at me.
just keep the lights on. That's simple.
Just keep a little night light by your door so it can't come in. Yeah. When I was little, I was getting scared that demons would come into my room. So I put a cross above my door so none would come in. So it's like a protective shield. Yeah, it was like a shield.
I saw that monster thing, I'd be like, oh, flashlight. Flashlight.
Gotcha.
Yo! What if the power goes out?
I'd leave. I'd just be like, pack my bags.
Get away.
We're supposed to be moving into a new house, and that's the one thing I'm scared of. No, but the brand new houses, so it's not like someone could have died in it.
What if they built one at St.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brand new house, and you years built and pump someone.
What if one of the workers died in your bedroom?
No, I'd be pretty chill though. I'm like, sup, bro? Yeah, you're construction workers.
And you nailed that work out.
That'd be so scary.
Why?
Even now, I'm scared. I'm not scared of the dark. I'm like stressed out. And I'm like,
I'm like, I was your